Okay, so my name is Ram Kinkar Shukla, and in fact today we are going to talk about the DevOps. So we'll in this session we'll discuss certain DevOps fundamentals, and in fact what to know about that is what is very important. That is how the DevOps got the birth, or how the DevOps or what the things which led, the causes which led the DevOps to incept or to birth, and what is actually the DevOps, and what is DevOps culture, and what all is practiced over here in DevOps. So let's move on to the actual presentation. Uh, okay. Okay. Before understanding the concepts, DevOps concepts and all, let's just know why do we study the DevOps, or the causes which led the inception of the DevOps, and why the DevOps came into the existence. As we all know, that is for the software development, we were having the certain software development models. Now, which in fact, somehow they were the important, and the way software was getting developed, and there were certain methodologies being adopted for the software development. So here in this session, we'll discuss the two important software development methodologies, or the software development models. One was waterfall model, which was very much used till year 2000, 1980 to 2000. This was largely used, and then after that, slowly the second methodology, the agile software development practices, which started picking up. Now let us first talk about the the traditional software development model that we call as the waterfall development model. So in this, in fact, this waterfall development model was consisting of the 6 phases. Mainly, that is the in this phase, what used to happen, that is the completed requirements were gathered, and there was the software requirement specifications were developed. And during that time, so when these specifications were gathered, and the software requirements were gathered, and the specifications were developed, so nothing else was happening, and so entire other teams were sitting idle, or they were doing certain other work, and other teams were not normally having the clue what is happening. Then the system was planned and designed according whatever was being written in the SRS. After this thing, the implementation of the system starts taking place. In fact, the development used to happen. Then the system was tested, quality was assured, and then after all this thing, after so many months, and it even going to be the years for that, maybe 1 year or 2 years after, the software was going to or the system was going to the users for the deployment purposes and for the actual purposes. And then based on all these things, when it was going to users, so there were certain issues which were faced, and it was in that phase, it was another phase which was getting added. A regular maintenance of the system was being done. So it was found, in fact, 1980 to 2000, it was the IT was emerging, the software development technologies were being done, the industry was expanding, so it was growing. But starting from the 2000 onwards, people started feeling that is what the biggest problem of these model, that is, okay, for 3 months, first phase was going on, for again 3 months or 2 months or 6 months, the another phase was going on. So entire development was taking almost 2 to 3 years to complete. And when the system was coming out, so that's the software or the system, it was not of, let's say it was of 20% getting utilized or as per the latest usage or something like that. So what was conceptualized and what was being used, sometimes people were getting the things like that is it is very much, in fact, not in sync with the specifications as well as what is going to be used. And the industry was started changing so fast, so that the whole software used to have its it used to lose its relevance. So waterfall model and the certain other models which were prevalent at that time, in fact, they were having the biggest lacunas, they were having the lots of challenges for the development as well as and for the operations as well. Now, so these were, in fact, the picture depicts the challenges of the waterfall model. So we have got, that is the two sides. One was the developer side and another was the operations side. So what was happening? The developer has developed his code, and then again that he was waiting for the feedback to come from the either from the quality guys, either from the testing guys, and from the deployment. That is when the deployment used to happen, then the changes needs to be done and all. So in fact, there was a huge waiting time for the code deployment, and the feedback loop was not proper, or it was very, very delayed delayed feedback loop. And after that, when this the feedback was coming, so the developers were assigned some other project and all. So they were having in fact, they had to work, have lots of pressure on developing certain new releases. If they were working on the new releases, they had to work on the new releases, as well as they have to basically gather or remember the things that is what they developed for in their old code. So they have to have, they need to fight a lot, and they need to remember a lot, and doing lots of, they were having lots of pressure maintaining, that is the balance between the new work pending and the new code, new work, and the old code, and pending work. So this was the biggest challenge which the developers are facing. So not only the waterfall model was a challenge for the developers, as well as the biggest problem was with the operations team. Industry was growing, IT industry was growing, everybody, in fact, during the 2000 era, or when coming to the 21st century, so every team was, and every industry was going through a different kind of phase, and this revolution was happening, like the inception of the internet, web, and all. This made this word, all these inceptions made this word so small, that is, that people were knowing what is happening within seconds. They were able to know what is happening in the industry, what current streams are going. People were connecting with each other in a fast way. Now, the requirements were gathering, the thoughts were coming up, but the industry itself, or the tools, whatever the things for this model, was not able to cater the demand of the growing queries, or let's say growing requirements of the industry. So in fact, what was happening, the tools that time, we were not having the right kind of tools that way, which were able to maintain that as a production environment. It was very, very difficult to maintain the 100% production environment. Then how the automation of the infrastructure to be done. So that was, the tools were for automating the infrastructure, the fast management, how the one PC can talk to another let's say this is networking, they were talking to this thing. But what is happening, why a server is down, why this thing, all these thing problems were, in fact, to get back to know, to get the feedback why a system is down, what is happening. So in fact, so integration of the automating the infrastructure management was very, very poor, and so it was not effective. I'll say not poor, it was not effective, right? Then after that, servers, now as the industry was growing, data size, the data requirements, the storage size were growing, the number of computation power, the computation was increasing. Internet has in fact leveraged all the industries, in fact the usage for the number of compute servers, these were increasing industry, and people were getting connected, and the more and more applications, the graphics and all were coming up. But what is happening to the server? What is happening to the application? If a server is down, if an application is down, so and one more thing, that is because of this, so developers were working in their own environment, in their own world, and the operations team was also working in their own world. So in fact, there was nothing kind of sync between these two. So shifting the blames on each other, what has happened, the software was getting developed by the software, and it goes to the production. It was it was not working. Operations was not having any clue. Developers have developed, they were not having any clue for the operations purposes and all. So this was a huge, in fact, as the industry started growing, the huge chaos for these kind of issues started growing also. So now let us see. So what were the biggest challenges for the waterfall model? As we saw, that is after development, the code deployment time was huge. Pressure of work on old, pending and new code was high. And all from operations perspective, 100% uptime was not present. Infrastructure automation tools were not effective. Number of servers to be monitored keeps on increasing with time, and complexity has also increased. And it was very difficult to provide feedback and diagnose the issues in the product. It was not efficient enough. Okay, now these issues, in fact, waterfall model, so people found, and this is, there were in the software development model, there was lots of lacunas. So some big industry thinkers and some authors and some certain important people came back in 2001, came back, and few other noted personalities, in fact, gathered in the name of the Agile Alliance. This name was given as an Agile Alliance. They gathered together and discussed about that these then existing software process model shortcomings, and agreed on a manifesto that what should be the idea and how we can basically come over, or how we can basically counter these kind of issues which are being faced by the software industry then. So they decided that is what to be done. That is, they said that is okay. Now, rather than focusing on the process and tools, so right side things were, so left side things were given more weightage on the right side things, like the individuals and interactions over processes and tools. So in software a waterfall model, what happened that there were lots of focus on processes processes, so lots of focus on processes and tools were there. So they said, okay, no, let's have some kind of idea where people should be able to interact with each other, and people should somehow work in a collaborative manner. So that is these kind of things, these ideas got generated. And they said, rather than having, the second point was, that is, rather than having comprehensive documentation, that is the documentation part, that is, if we remember those days, so first a lengthy document for software requirements and specifications was made. Each and every software specification was gathered, written properly and audited. So many things were happening, and there was big thick books were being made. And then when it was coming to the people, okay, so some requirements were in fact got lose their authenticity, or let's say they were old and nobody was working. So rather than, people say, that is, there should be working software rather than having the comprehensive document. So customers should be able to get the value. And even the next thing was in this line was customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Rather than renegotiating contract, okay, one new requirement has come up, okay, so let's negotiate. So for this would be charged or whatever. So this is the term negotiation. Rather than we work collaboratively with the customer. So customer was to be thought as the prime factor, where his changes here, his needs, the customer needs should be addressed more rather than going into the contract negotiation. The last one was the biggest thing, which in fact the need of that time. That is the, in fact, responding to change over following a plan. Okay, the thing is, there is a plan, you have made that, but the thing is, what about the change? If their software is not working perfectly fine, or something new has come up, new trend has come up to the market, so can't we change our plan a little bit so that we should be responsive to the customer as well as to the industry? So this way, the industry, the development industry, or the service industry or the development industry, along with the customer, should be having a win-win situation, right? The thing is, that is, let us take care of the customer needs. Let us take care of the changes customer is being done. So taking certain considerations, let us be very active when the customer is giving us a change, and we should adjust our plan a little bit and respond to that change. So this, in fact, the Agile Manifesto, on this Agile Manifesto, in fact, what happened, there were 12 principles of agility was being made. Okay, I don't think that is, I'll not go through this very much in detail of that. That is more on the reading material. So these 12 principles of agility were basically made on the on the basis of the manifesto, on the 4 manifesto which were key for the agile development. So that on that. So giving you a certain example, let's say we go to the this thing, 6th one. The most effective and efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within the development team is face-to-face conversation. So rather than writing mail, being formal and doing documentation, all, let's work together in a collaborative manner. So it was more giving a touch to, that is, okay, let's work more collaboratively. Let's come to the third one, that is deliver working software frequently from a couple of weeks to a couple of months with a preference to a shorter time scale. Now, what was happening previously? The problem that the software was getting out in 3 years, and now agile methodology said that is no. Rather than giving a baby which took took 3 years time to take birth, let's deliver a smaller thing, like let's say we deliver the working software, let's say short. There should be certain requirements which are catered first. They should be working software in 2 to 3 months time frame, or couple of weeks time frame, and then after that let us move iteratively. So iterative, so this the idea of having the stories, sprints and all being made, and this is agile framework according to which the things should happen, and the software industry should, that is the process issues should be in fact should be software process issues should be taken care because of this agility model. Again, this is working software is the measure of progress. So again, see, I'm just giving you one quote. That is somewhere down the line, 20 years back, I was in fact attending a management class. So the trainer, he was giving us, that is what is basically, he was in fact giving the session on the project planning. He said that is if in let's say 4 months you have a software project was to be delivered in 1 month, 1 year, and so in 6 months how much it was delivered. So people answered, okay, it's 50%. He given the simple example, plain and simple example, that is, can you say a baby which is going to born in 9 months, so what answer would be then? That is if it is 5 months of pregnancy is into the his mother's womb in 5 months of 5 months. So can you say that is the baby is 50% or 60% born or 60% mature, or it is ready to take birth? No, he said no. So that's the thing, that is it, the that is like it's not, when it is the software is complete, so then either it is 0 or 1. So when the things, when you get the shape, if it's working, it's live, then only it means that the progress is happening. So this is an analogy which I gave, which is a relevant analogy, and that works well with the agility model, or for anything, unless we are able to use a product which we have purchased. It's like the mud, or I'll say it's just a kind of waste for us. So that is the working software is the measure of the progress. So again, now I'll move from this place, and now I'll move that again to challenges of the waterfall model, and there were certain challenges which were faced into the agile model also, right? So what happened in the left side, if we just see that is left side, there were a couple of things which were for the development, for the developers, the agile model took well care. So they said, okay, the software delivery cycle should be, software development cycle should be 4 to 5 weeks. So fine. There should be team size should be very less, 5 to 9 people, fine. So what happened? The huge waiting time for code deployment or code, this this was taken care, and in fact this was thought that is how this huge waiting time could of the code deployment can be taken care. So it should be like the system where there is no waiting time. And again for the developers, they are always working, they should be working on the new code. So that is, it was, since it was being done in the small sprints and all, so they were always happening, and they were always working on the new things and new tasks for development. So this left thing, developers, so that got addressed. Fine. Now for this operations part, the agile model was mainly for, it catered the needs of the development model. Then after that, what in fact, so how the operations issues can be handled? So operations issues could be, that is, there should be that is 100% uptime should be, like that is system should be uptime and running. So basically all red, there should be something, it should be like the systems should be up and running every time, and there should be good systems available for the and the easy tool should be needed for and tool should be available for the automating the infrastructure, and there should be effective monitoring, feedback system should be there, and then the effective feedback loop for the operation should be there. So all these things, if what was needed for this, that is to bridge the gap, that is there should be better collaboration between two teams. So which in fact the agile model also could not could not handle very effectively. And in fact here this gave the birth to the DevOps. So DevOps came out as as a process from the traditional waterfall model, then it became to the agile development model, and then the DevOps approach came. Because what was happening in the agile development model, software development was happening properly, or it was addressed well, but the operations thing, the systems, uptime and all, they were not, it was not addressing that kind of approach. So the ITIL, ITSM and all, they came to rescue and to support this thing, but in fact again there were certain issues which led the DevOps approach came into the picture, where it helped in requirements change frequently. So they address this. Development needs to be agile. They address this, and the last thing, that is operation needs to be agile. That also got addressed with the birth of the DevOps. So DevOps incepted or evolved from existing software development strategies or methodologies over the years in response to the changing business needs. So all this leads, so as we can say, that is the need is the mother of the invention. So changing business needs in fact led the inception of the DevOps. So again, that is, as I said, that is agile methodology brought agility to the development, but it could not resolve the collaboration issues between developers and operations. And DevOps methodology in fact took birth to in fact to resolve the the issues which of the mainly for the operations issues which were there for the agile development model, for better collaboration and for the faster delivery. Okay. Now, since we have understood the problems faced in traditional software development models, and let us know what is DevOps and how it can resolve to help to resolve the issues. So again, what happened? So this is what DevOps does. DevOps in fact integrates development and operations teams and improves the product collaboration and productivity. It helps automating infrastructure, automating workflows, and continuously measuring application performance. So waiting time of code deployment was in fact, for that the DevOps solution was the continuous integration, which ensured quick development of code, faster testing, and speedy feedback mechanism. So with the help of, as we all know, that is the tools which are available. So you can integrate the whole the integration process. The software gets compiled, it gets tested, QA metrics and all generated and all. So in fact, within a few seconds or few minutes, developer knows that is where are the bugs lying. Then pressure of work on old, pending and new code, which was the development issue. So now there was no waiting time to deploy the code, and the developer was focusing on building the current code. So whatever he has with the shorter time cycle, he has developed, it was got tested, well tested, QA tested and all. So it goes into the, he is free of this, of that, he has fixed every issues for that, and then he moves on to the working on the current code and always working on to the current and latest code. Again, the operations challenges. So now the containerization and virtualization. So for what was the operations challenges? So operations challenges were that is difficult to maintain uptime of production environment. So production environment, that is now the new virtualization and containerization techniques. So we can further discuss, we'll further discuss what is containerization. So and there are tools available which help doing the containerization, and it's basically they provide a lightweight containers where you can have an environment where all your related products get bundled at one place and you can work over there. So containerization and virtualizations ensure that there is a simulated environment created to run and software as containers and offer great reliability for service uptime. So in fact, this technology is being used by the Facebook, Amazon and mostly the companies which are into the selling products and all. So this containerization, this is being used very much by those companies. Now, tools to automate infrastructure management were not effective. So configuration management, automated code deployment, giving you an instance like the servers are increasing. So previously what used to happen, people used to have 5 servers, 10 servers, 20 servers. They were easily able to deploy the things, to deploy the code. Now people like the companies like Facebook, Netflix, Amazon, they have thousands of servers. Maybe some may be having lakhs also, and they are in fact placed across the different geographies, and even nobody knows that is how many of they have servers. So how to deploy a simple patch, how to load a simple software, and so this is all changes within 15 minutes and 30 minutes. They are getting replicated to and given to the servers and gets deployed. So how? This is the configuration management. The tools, they are helping the companies to do this kind of things. Now, number of servers to be monitored increases, difficult to diagnose and provide feedback on the server. So in fact, so this leads to problems like what has happened to your server. If your server in previous in what used to happen 10 years, 15 years back, if a server was down, you were searching where is the server, what happened. So if somebody was reporting, okay, my server is not working, go and check that. So you were going and checking what has happened, where it is and what is happening. Now, with the continuous monitoring, that there are tools available like Nagios and Splunk, and there are other other tools also. So it is with the help of those tools, so you can do the effective administration of the servers, your applications, and get to know what is bad, what bad has happened, or how the servers or your machines or your applications are performing. So DevOps, now we have come to the section for defining that. So what is DevOps? So DevOps is a software development approach which in fact involves continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous deployment, and continuous monitoring of the software throughout its development life cycle. So anything which was getting ready in using this waterfall model era in 3 years, and on the agile era, let's say for 1 year, or taking the shape in 1 year or something like that. In fact, the DevOps has revolutionized and ensured a faster feedback mechanism. So this ensured and this made the organizations high performing and responding to customer changes and customer requirements in a very frequent and efficient manner. And this is the, in fact, preferred approach to develop high quality software in shorter development life cycles, which resulted in greater customer satisfaction. And as I said previously, Facebook, Netflix, Amazon, there are many companies, they are using this kind of technologies. And and it is spreading, the usage of DevOps is spreading like anything. So, okay, so what is the DevOps culture? A DevOps culture, in fact, so in this DevOps culture, what happened, DevOps model ensures a culture which established where like agile methodology, a single group of engineers, they work in a collaborative manner to develop the application. They ensure and they take the responsibility, end-to-end responsibility for application software, right from gathering requirement to development, testing, infrastructure deployment to application deployment, everything. In fact, so the developers, system admins, QA testers, everybody work in a collaborative team, and that is the DevOps culture, and this is the way the DevOps has made significant contribution to the software industry, and it is the now the right thing or right approach to be adopted by the companies to all the people, or to the people, to become a high performing organization. That's all from my side. Hello? Hello?